All right, so I want to explain why deportations is a business. Donald Trump and his allies have been walking a political tightrope. On the one hand, they promise mass deportations, which they are doing, and aggressive immigration enforcement. And on the other, they're signaling to business owners, especially in agriculture, construction, and service sectors, that they'll still have access to the immigrant labor force they rely on. Notice that Trump is backpedaling here because he made a statement saying that he's going to stop being so aggressive. This is why. So, according to his first administration, I want you to follow the pattern of how he policed and worked out the whole visas for incoming laborers. So, in his 2017-2021 presidency, this is what it looked like, right? He had these visas, the purpose, and Trump's approach. So when it came to farm workers, he issued the H-2A visa, which expanded access for and lower wages. So this is important, right? Then the H-2B visa was for seasonal jobs, increased caps to benefit employers. So this didn't have a cap on how many employers and how many employees could come in to work under the H-2B visa. The H-1B, it was for skilled workers, right? They had tightened restrictions because they're a little bit more skilled according to this narrative. And then the J-1 visa, culture exchange, temporarily suspended during COVID. The post-grad work considered limits, especially China. Now, how is this going to be done? It is done in the following way. Mass deportation as political theater. Trump's rhetoric about mass deportations is often used to energize his base. This time he's delivering, right? Because he made all these promises. He frames undocumented immigrants as a threat to safety and jobs, but this doesn't necessarily mean all undocumented labor will be removed, which he has been, and now he's backpedaling because he's getting pushback from his support, which are the majority businesses who are exploiting and benefit from this. I want you to follow along. The reality is large-scale deportations would cripple industries like farming, hospitality, and elder care that depend on undocumented workers. Business leaders know this, and so does Trump, which now they're starting to push back on him because this is not working well for them. 2, legal pathways for exploitable labor. Trump and his allies may suggest expanding or streamlining temporary guest worker programs like H-2A or agriculture H-2B for seasonal jobs. These programs give business owners access to low-wage labor without granting permanent residence or labor protections. Why does this matter? This creates a pool of legal but disposable workers who can be controlled and deported easily, fulfilling business needs while appearing tough on immigration. This is what we need to understand. This is what is happening. This theatric of mass deportations it ultimately is about this. This creates a pool of legal but disposable workers who can be controlled and deported easily, fulfilling business needs while appearing tough on immigration. How are they being controlled and deported easily? Because they're being told, oh, you want to complain about work conditions? We're going to take away your visa. Oh, you don't like the housing conditions? We're going to take away your visa. You want to unionize? We're going to take away your visa. So this is a way to control people and to extract their labor and keep them quiet and silent. Now, what he is doing here, he is making backhanded contracts, backdoor contracts with these employers, right? He's creating legal pathways for exploitable labor. Trump and his allies may suggest expanding or streamlining. We went through that already. Let's go through 3. Appeasing business owners. So what is this doing? The ultimate result of these mass deportations is a business exchange, right? Despite harsh rhetoric, Trump has quietly reassured industries that deportation policies won't target their workforces. Actually, they were. So now he's backpedaling, right? So he's going and trying to give back on his promise to them. ICE often conducted symbolic raids, but large-scale removals were rare. Employers faced few consequences for hiring undocumented workers. So again, this is Trump administration 1.0, right? So basically what the plan here is, don't worry, we'll get rid of the criminals and undesirables, but not your workers, right? But this time they went a little too aggressive, and he's backpedaling now because now the owners of the agriculture and traveling and leisure and resorts, they're all saying, hey, this is going to hurt our economy. So now he's backpedaling. So ultimately, he promoted the idea of merit-based immigration, implying that immigrants with real skills or work ethic are welcome as long as they remain politically and economically subordinate. Okay. So what this results in is a dog whistle effect, which keep labor compliant, cheap, and temporary, while punishing those who demand rights or belong in criminalized groups. So why does this matter? Well, this is what is happening. Deportation threats create fear, which can suppress worker organizing and wage demands. Guest worker programs benefit business owners but create unstable lives for workers. Political optics matter more than policy consistency. Trump weaponizes both nativist fear and economic pragmatism depending on the audience. This is what is happening right now, right? This is why deportations are a business, and all of these businesses that are being hit, they are not being penalized for these so-called undocumented illegals, right? This is an actual cycle that exploits our labor and keeps the machinery of extractive labor and exploitation continuous. And this has been happening. If you remember the Bracero program, if you remember the creation of NAFTA, this is the machine that exploits, that completely dehumanizes and keeps our people under their horrible working conditions. So this is what they're trying to resolve. They're trying to manufacture this so that they have new, fresh meat to target and exploit. So this is what I mean by deportations are a business. If you want to study more about this, please follow the work of David Bacon, he's done amazing scholarship. He's a photojournalist and has followed all of this. So this is a business, people. This is a business. They're all winning.